Hello everyone, this is Robert. Glad to be with you again, and I hope you're all really well. I want to share a game with you now. It's a game with a really good old friend of mine, Arthur Hibbitt. We've known each other a long time now, and we played a few games against each other. I think we're about one win, one draw, and one loss each in match play. Arthur's a really, really nice man. I've been away on a congress with him, with my son, and we had a good time. He's about 80 now. But this game, which we played in 2002, a Bristol Congress match, which was played at the Students' Union building in the major section. Arthur's rating and mine, which were identical at the time, was around 1705 today. In the old rating, it would have been about 134. But it's an interesting game. I'd like to show you it. And I was around 49. This was played on the 2nd of February, so I was 50 in March. So I was just approaching my 50th birthday, and Arthur was 58. So as you can see, 2002 is a long time ago now. 23 years ago. 23 years have passed. Can you remember what you were doing 23 years ago? Or where you were in February? It's hard to think how quickly the time passes. Doing these videos has made me realise sometimes, where have all the years gone? It's amazing. I expect it's the same with all of you in some way or another. When you think back, maybe 20 years ago, what were you doing? Where were you? Were you still living at the same address? It's interesting, isn't it? Well, anyway, we just passed the new millennium of 2000, 2 years into it. I think if we were to think then what we know now, we would be a bit shocked at a lot of the changes that's taken place in our society. But anyway, back to chess, and I'm going to show you this game. Arthur was playing white, and he began with d4. It surprised me a bit because Arthur doesn't normally play this. He's a bird's opening type person with f4 or even e4, but he played d4. So I played e6 to see if he might play e4, and then we'll see how it goes. And he did. So really he is an e4 player, but he's played d4. I got him to play it in the end. So I could play d5 to French, which I play a lot of now. But back then I was very much a Sicilian player. So I played c5, and he played c3, very conservative of Arthur, keeping a tight centre. Pawn takes pawn on d4. Knight f6, attacking the e pawn, and he wasn't provoked to move it forward. He played knight c3, a much better move, developing the piece. And I played d6, going into a sort of shenanigan opening now, as it's known in the Sicilian. Knight f3, bishop d7, bishop d3. That's Arthur's developing. He's getting a nice centre. He's got the space at the moment, which is often the case in this opening. Knight c6. It's very book. Castles. And I played e5 now. Now, it can be played. Probably bishop e7 I would play nowadays. But e5 is what I played. It gives me a backward pawn on d6. But it does open up the line for my bishop to come out, maybe to g4, pinning a knight. So he's played d5, and I've gone back to e7 with the knight, heading for g6, and a nice square on f4 if I get the chance to get on there. Played h3. He's played this to stop the pin on g4, but also so that you can probably develop the bishop onto e3 without the knight harassing that bishop on e3. So I've gone knight to G6. Radford's played rook into E1 as he continues with his development. Bishop E7, Bishop E3. So there you go. That shows you that H3 pawn stopped that knight from going in G4 and the bishop pinning on G4. So it was a good move. Castles. Knight H2. Now what's Arthur up to? Is he looking to play F4? I wouldn't have thought so. Not until he can get something else behind that F4 square like Queen to D2, because I could just go pawn takes pawn if he played it now. So I played H6 so he can't pin my knight on F6. He's played G4, so that's his plan. It's very bold. He's leaving a lot of open squares around his king. He's taking a risk. So I went knight back to H7 before he could play G5. Because now if he plays G5, I got pawn, knight, bishop and queen all covering the G5 square. So he's not going anywhere with that. Now he's played queen to D2. Indirectly he's threatening bishop takes H6, G takes H6, queen takes H6. What's he got? Nothing really. It'd take him 2 moves to get the knight to G5 and I could just take it now. He's not looking at taking that. He just wants to coordinate his rooks, I think. So I've played bishop G5. So I'm saying to Arthur, what are you going to do about it? So he's brought the knight back to E2. And that allowed me to go bishop takes bishop. Queen takes bishop, and there's no real threat against me now, except for the F4 pawn movement, which he may play next move. So I've gone in queen H5, threatening H3. He's protecting it at the moment with his queen, but we'll see how it goes after I've played knight G5. I'll be hitting it twice, it means he can't protect with his king on G2. So he's not bothering with any of that. He's played queen G3 and telling me to get lost. If I get queen takes, he can go knight takes. So I just played the knight in instead to G5. This will force a swap probably, but he didn't. He played king to G2. Wow. So queen takes queen, king takes queen. Again, he surprised me. He seems to do this a lot when we're playing. He's not playing the moves I'm expecting him to. So I played rook C8 to get onto that open file, which he hasn't done yet. And he's played H4. So I can just go back with a knight. I'm not concerned about him pushing his pawns. Now the queen's off the board. It's taken an awful lot of sting out of his attack. And he's played rook on A to C1, challenging my rook on C8. So I've gone now knight into F6. And he played H5. Interesting. I've just gone back knight into E7. And what's he going to do now under F4? Here we go. So he's playing F4. There's a bit of a hit and hope kind of strategy he's got here. I don't feel threatened at all by this. Not when you haven't got rooks and queens behind those pawns. So I played G6. He's played pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. That does give him a pass pawn, but nothing that I should be worried about, I don't think. H takes G, knight takes G on G6. He's played rook to F1, hitting that hanging knight on F6 and not protected. So by playing rook takes rook, he's not likely to take the knight out because he'll be the exchange down. So he's retaken with his rook. And now I've challenged him again with my rook. So I've totally equalised this game. it's made it really hard for him to do anything. So he's played rook to c3, and now I challenge that pawn, that weak pawn on g4 with my h pawn, which is an isolated pawn. So he's gone pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn. He can't advance anywhere. The bishop is covering those white diagonal squares, so he's gone back to f3. Now, probably I should have dropped one of the knights in on f4 here, but I played knight to h4 with a cheeky check. Again, you can't move sideways, can only move backwards, or e3. So he's gone back to f2. Now I've played f5 because I want to break up that pawn centre if I can, or push on with the pawn even and have my own pass pawn. So he's gone rook takes rook, bishop takes rook, knight into f3, hitting that weak pawn was unprotected. And I've played knight takes knight, so that's the end of that threat. King takes, and then push my pawn on. So we've both got a pass pawn. We've both got an interesting situation. It's dead even. Both got a bishop each and a knight each. His king is near the centre, but he can't even get round to it because I'm covering the white diagonal on g4 and h3 and the g3 squared. So he can't go anywhere with his king. It's just not well positioned. So he's gone out with his knight to c3, which is probably the best. I played a6 just to stop him coming in with knight to b5. So he's gone knight into a4 now, and I've brought the knight back. So he wants to play knight into c5. He's preparing to push that pawn on maybe. So I brought my king up now. And at this point, I offer a draw. I can't see as either of us are likely to win here. For instance, if I played b5 or something like that, I can do that if I want. Or I can challenge his knight with knight back to d7. He's certainly unlikely to push the pawn with the threat of bishop c4. But no, I offered him the draw and he thought about it and he accepted the draw. By the time we played, neither of us could win this section anyway. And so we were happy with the draw. And I think it is pretty much drawn. It's quite a good game. It was tactical, both probing, trying to find ways of... Arthur was trying to find a way to really have a go at me, but I think I kept him quiet, which is what I was aiming to do. So I hope you enjoyed this game with my dear friend Arthur Hibbitt. I don't see him much nowadays. He lives in Banbury, around that way in Oxfordshire. And I'm quite a distance away from him in Bristol. I'm not sure exactly, but I think it's something like 80 miles, something like that. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the game, and I'll get back to you with another game pretty soon. Thank you.